Let's be real. Everybody makes mistakes. It's just part of being human. But when you're in a position of power, even a tiny screw-up can blow up in your face, right? It can wreck your reputation and everything you've worked for. Saying sorry can make you look weak, and making excuses, well, that usually just digs the hole deeper. So this brings up a huge question that leaders have wrestled with forever.
How do they manage to look so efficient, so strong, even when things are going completely off the rails behind the scenes? Look, this isn't just about damage control. It's a core strategy for holding on to power. And a certain, very controversial author gives a pretty intense masterclass on exactly how to do it.
I'm talking about Robert Greene's infamous book, The 48 Laws of Power. In it, he gives a chillingly practical answer. He lays out an entire law dedicated to mastering the art of looking perfect, a law that's as clever as it is, well, ruthless.
And that law is Law 26, keep your hands clean. The big idea here is simple. To stay in power, you can never, ever be seen as the cause of bad news or mistakes. Your public image has to be absolutely spotless.
That's the judgment of the law, right from the book. You see, it's not just about ducking for cover when you mess up. It's about actively creating this whole vibe of perfection. It basically suggests that your reputation has more to do with what people don't see than what they do. So how on earth do you pull that off?
Well, Greene says you don't just cross your fingers and hope nobody notices. No, you have a system ready to go, a system for deflecting blame and putting distance between you and any dirty work. And he says there are two key tools you need to get the job done.
Here they are, the scapegoat and the cat's paw. Now, the distinction here is really important. A scapegoat is for after-the-fact messes. They're the one who takes the fall for a mistake that's already been made. A cat's paw, on the other hand, is who you use from the very beginning. They're the ones who do the risky, unpleasant stuff for you, totally insulating you from the act itself. Let's dig into the scapegoat first.
To really show you the raw power of a scapegoat, Greene gives us this incredible story from ancient China. It's a total masterclass in ruthless problem-solving.
So try to picture this. The general is in a truly impossible spot. His soldiers are starving, they're furious, and he's staring down a full-blown mutiny that could easily get him killed. He needs a fix, and he needs it now.
So he comes up with this kind of brilliant, kind of diabolical plan. First, ration the grain to buy time. But the really crucial part was setting up the fall guy. He pulls his supply chief aside and basically says, hey, just do this, don't worry, I've got your back. And here's the ice-cold move. When the soldier's anger finally boils over, does Cao Cao defend his guy? Nope. He points his finger straight at the supply chief, accuses him of theft, and has him killed right in front of everyone. The chief becomes the sacrifice to calm the angry mob.
And boom, just like that, you see the power of this law. Cao Cao solves his food crisis, he stops the rebellion, and he actually strengthens his image as a fair leader who punishes corruption. He used a convenient scapegoat and his own part in the whole scheme, totally hidden. His hands are clean.
And of course, this idea is ancient. The word scapegoat itself actually comes from an old Hebrew ritual where a community would symbolically place all their sins onto a goat and then cast it out into the wilderness to cleanse themselves. All Cao Cao did was take that ancient idea and weaponize it for power politics.
Okay, so that's the scapegoat. That's for when a mistake has already happened. But what if you need to do something shady from the get-go? Well, for that, Greene introduces the second tool, the cat's paw.
The name is pretty great. It comes from an old fable where a clever monkey convinces a cat to pull some chestnuts out of a hot fire. The monkey gets the tasty chestnuts, and the poor cat just gets a burnt paw. In the game of power, a cat's paw is whoever you use to pull your chestnuts out of the fire.
Greene brings up Catherine de Medicis from 16th century France. She wanted a political rival to disappear, but she couldn't be caught ordering the hit herself. So what does she do? She manipulates another powerful family, the Guises, to do it for her. Think about it. If the plot works, great, problem solved. If it fails, well, that's all on the Guises. Either way, she had the perfect shield. Her hands would stay perfectly clean.
Now, it's pretty easy to look at this law and think it's some kind of foolproof strategy. But Greene is super clear about this. These tools, the scapegoat and the cat's paw, they're like razor-sharp knives. They're dangerous, and they can easily cut the person trying to use them.
I mean, first off, what if you get caught? If your scapegoat or your cat's paw exposes you, your reputation for being perfect is gone. Now you're just a sneaky manipulator.
Plus, these plans can just blow up in your face, like it did for Catherine de Medicis. It led to a full-on civil war. And if you punish an innocent person too harshly, they might become a martyr, and suddenly public opinion turns against you. And finally, and this is a big one, the people you use aren't going to forget it. They might just be waiting for the perfect moment to get their revenge.
This quote from the philosopher Baltasar Gracian really sums up the cold, hard logic of Law 26. It's all about perception. You need to make absolutely sure you're always connected to the good news, while the bad news always looks like it came from someone else.
So that leaves us with something to think about. This whole dynamic of shifting blame, it's not just in history books. It's everywhere, from world politics right down to your office. The next time something goes wrong, just watch. Pay attention to who takes the fall, and ask yourself, are they really the one to blame, or are they just the most convenient one? Whose hands are actually being kept clean?